Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode. I'm your host, the Millennial Investor, and today we're going over a stock called NIO. In the last episode, I did just go over the almighty Tesla stock, and you can see how Tesla has performed over the last 5 years. It is up 258.97%, up in the green again today, and just in the last month alone, it is up 46%. You can see how the performance of Tesla has been in pretty much all types of electric vehicle stocks. I've also mentioned electric vehicle stocks in the past, like Nikola Corporation. Nikola is up about 7% today, and you can see since it went public, since that merger, it is up about 300%. So now this brings me to another electric car maker, one that you may or may have not heard of. NIO Incorporated, parentheses China. So NIO is the electric car company that has been referred to as the Tesla of China. Much like you see in Amazon, AMZN, Amazon delivers packages and e-commerce. They usually have a competitor similar to that in China. It's much like that of an Alibaba. It is the Amazon of China. So with NIO, we have similar to that of an Alibaba and Amazon with NIO and Tesla. So I want to give some ideas and some of the thoughts behind this company, some of its corporate profile, some of the investor relations information, and then some videos about how their battery replacement works, and overall just the general guidance and just overall view of the company. So what we're going to go over in this video, we're going to go over different tabs. We're going to go over their investor relations page, their company profile page, their battery replacement section. We're going to go over an article talking about why the stock is up, how it might even be moving just because of retail investors. We're going to be going over the financials of the company, like its balance sheet and its income statement. And then we're going to be tracking the stock on RobinTrack to see how it's performed since then. And then towards the end of the video, like always, I will be giving an update on my portfolio. For those of you guys interested, look at the stocks that I own and see how I'm performing so far. But overall, guys, if you enjoy watching my content and you want to support me and you want to sign up for M1 Finance, M1 Finance is a great brokerage. Go ahead and use this link down below in the description. We've had 16 people sign up, but if you go ahead and use that link down below, you can get $10 just for signing up, and there are other links in that description as well. So go ahead and check that out if you're interested in anything of that below. So let's go ahead and hit the research tab here. Let's type in NIO, and let's look at how the stock price is done. So in the last year, it is up 278.8%. Over the last 5 years, it is only up 4% though. It has pretty much been a gradual downtrend ever since the stock went public. It went public in about 2018 at about $11 a share, and you can see how it has went ever since then. We have had a gradual downtrend, a little bitty spike up, and then now, within the last couple of months, this stock has skyrocketed. It has came out of nowhere and has came back to life, and it is absolutely on a tear. And a lot of these other electric car companies have been as well, like Tesla going to all-time highs, and then you see Nikola Corporation, a relatively new stock to the stock market, only about the last couple of months or so. It has performed extremely well, and then NIO is following suit as well. So overall, my opinion, I think a lot of these electric car companies are going sky high just because they're following the same suit with electric vehicle sales picking up regardless of their financials or the type of products that they offer. Now, speaking of type of products that they offer, so this section we're going to go over first is how they have their battery replacement. I just wanted to show about 30 seconds of this video because it is pretty interesting and pretty cool about how they swap their batteries. So go ahead and watch this right here. Okay, so basically that gives you a general idea of how it works and how they replace the battery system. So basically you can come into a location and get your battery changed out in the blink of an eye, no issue, and you can basically drive on that platform at one of their locations. They'll get your tires all lined up down to the inch, and then they will swap your battery from the other ground with a new battery, and it is done extremely quick in a matter of 3 minutes, as you can see down here. You can see it's the world's first battery swap of its kind, an ultimate and exclusive power service experience enabled by over 500 patented technologies. So this is pretty interesting here, the 500 patents. So not only is that extremely hard to try to replicate what they're doing, but they might even be able to get some kind of revenues if people try to replicate what they're doing and then get some kind of royalties off of that if people were to use their technology. It is the fastest power supply solution, fully automatic battery swap in about 3 minutes, faster than refueling, the most reassured service experience, automatic battery and electric system checks during each swap to ensure that the car and battery are at their best. Compact modular design, the smallest power swap station in the world, taking only 3 parking spaces, yet scalable with modularity. Now, if we keep going down here, you can see some more information about NIO. We'll look over that in just a minute. But let's go ahead and go to the About NIO section and go ahead and look some of the general basics about this company. So those of you that don't know what NIO stands for, the name actually means, our Chinese name means blue sky coming. This is represented in our symbol. The top is about the sky, openness, vision, and the future. You can see this top symbol there, how it's facing towards the future. And then you see the bottom part is about the earth, direction, action, and forward momentum. Blue sky coming is our guiding philosophy and stands for our commitment to a brighter tomorrow. So if you go on here, and I won't read everything section by section, you can pause the video through any of these pages if you want to see about their future. But you can see in so many different sections of their investor relations page, you can see how they're so focused toward creating a brighter and better future. They're definitely focused towards the future and not looking in the past, and they're trying to innovate products that are more forward looking. Now, one thing I wanted to point out here is their locations on their About Me section. They're in London, they're in Munich, if I said that correctly, they're in Beijing, there's Shanghai. Shanghai is where their headquarters is, and then they have one in the United States where I live, and they have one in San Jose, California. And you can see here's their San Jose branch, their Shanghai branch, their Munich, if I'm saying that right, branch, and then they have their London branch. All very sleek, modern looking locations. Now, if we go to their company profile here, there's a couple things I wanted to point out. This is one of the very few negatives about NIO. I will say, usually when I see stocks like this that have big run-ups and are not really focused on profits or financials, usually they're pretty ugly financially speaking. They usually just have a great story. It's much like a space stock you see, Virgin Galactic. They have a great story. They might be big in the future, but overall, I think that they're a pretty horrible company financially speaking. They don't have a lot of fundamentals behind them, and they're overall just a hype stock. Now, I was kind of expecting that with NIO, but I was kind of impressed. It was a lot better than what I thought it would be, and I do think that some of the share price gains are a little bit legitimized. Now, one of the negatives to this company that I wanted to point out here, our first model we developed was the EP9 supercar introduced in 2016. Combined with an attractive design and strong driving performance, the EP9 delivers extraordinary acceleration and best-in-class electric powertrain technology, helping us position as a premium brand. We launched our first volume manufactured electric vehicle, the ES8, to the public at our NIO Day event on December 16, 2017, and began making deliveries from June 28, 2018. So this section that I highlighted here, this little sentence, we launched our first volume manufactured electric vehicle, yada yada yada. We began the day event on December 16, 2017, the end of 2017, and they made their very first delivery in the middle of 2018. So right now I'm filming this, it's July, so almost exactly 2 years ago. So one thing I want to point out about this company that is not a benefit is that they only have 2 years worth of sales. Now, regardless of how good or bad a company is, with a company that only has a 2-year track record, there's not a lot to base it on. It's mostly just hype, it's a lot of speculation, and it's a lot of guessing because you don't have a lot of information to bake the stock off of. Now, that doesn't mean that this is going to be a flop. This doesn't mean that this company is whack. It doesn't mean that this company is going to be a fail. But just remember that, keep that in mind. They only have 2 years worth of a track record to base things off of. With Tesla, you can go back years, and years. But with NIO, you only have about 2 years and a month worth of experience to look it off of. So trying to base this company off of where it's going to be in the next couple of years gives you a lot harder picture than you would have if it had 10 years worth of investing experience and 20 years worth of sales experience, something like that. Now, we're going to just give you a quick look at the cars. I'm just going to click through all of these. They have the NIO ES6, and you can see all the angle shots there just so you can get familiar about what these cars actually look like. And then we're going to click the ES8 here. So we have the NIO ES8. I'll let you look at a couple of these camera shots to give you an idea of what the car looks like on this one. And then next up, we're going to click the EC6. So the EC6, I'll let you look at a couple of these shots to get you an idea what their vehicles look like. I will say I do like the look of these vehicles. I do think they look very sleek, very modern, very futuristic, very attractive overall. And I do like the look of their vehicles. And I do think a lot of people will be attracted to them on the consumer side. Now, if we go here and we click NIO and we click an article by Barron's and we talk about why Tesla and NIO stock are skyrocketing and you can blame retail traders. So we'll see if this is true. Electric vehicles have been on fire recently with a lot of good news pushing up share prices, but eye-popping gains as well as potential Robinhood effect raise concern of a looming stock price bubble. And then we scroll down here to this part of the article. Part of the reason might be that EV stocks or electric vehicle stocks have become trading vehicles in themselves. Their popularity on Robinhood, the commission-free stock trading platform, is soaring. NIO, for instance, is the 22nd most popular stock on the app, held by almost 250,000 users. It is more popular than Facebook. NIO's market value is roughly 15 billion. Facebook's market cap is almost 700 billion. So you can see this graph here. It is Robinhood users holding and change in holdings over the past week. So users holding is the black line, and then blue is the change. So the main one I want to focus on here is these four. I've covered all of these four now in a video. Workhorse has spiked up incredibly high over the last couple of weeks. I did cover Workhorse the other day. Those of you that have not seen Workhorse stock, Workhorse, that my friend actually bought it at about $2 a share. It was $2 a share, and now it is $16 a share, and at one point it was actually about $21 a share. But anyways, back to NIO. So NIO has incredible investor attention recently within the past couple of weeks. Those people that have never even heard about it have been flooding to the stock for the last couple of weeks, and you can see the change in people is higher than that in NIO than it is of that of Tesla. 81.7 thousand people have changed towards NIO shares versus Tesla's 67,000. Basically, what this can show you is that Tesla, a lot of people have been investing in Tesla for a while. While the stock is going up dramatically through Robinhood, a lot of people have been holding the stock several months, several years. With NIO, a lot of people are buying it just now, a lot just recently. Now, if we go here to RobinTrack, let's go ahead and look at Nikola, and we'll look at Workhorse, and we'll look at Tesla and NIO. We'll look at all four of them. So with Nikola, the stock is pretty recent, but it has shot up to 161,000 people using the stock, and a lot of these people have just been jumping in the stock recently. They have not been holding the stock for the long term because it is a brand new stock. WKHS, or Workhorse stock. Look at the dramatic difference in people that own the stock. It was a no-name. About 1,000 people owned it. Then we had an uptrend. It shot up to about 10,000, 15,000 until June of 2020 when the stock began to rise. We went from 20,000 to 50,000, 60,000, 100, and now at one point at its peak, it was right about 150,000 users. That is insane, the amount of people that owned it. And then we'll look at Tesla stock. So Tesla is TLSA. So Tesla stock is the 12th most popular stock on Robinhood, one of the top stocks in the entire platform. And you can see the amount of people that owned it has pretty much drifted around, but there's always been 100, 200,000 people owning it. And then recently, we have had almost 400,000 people now owning the stock at its all-time high. A lot of people are FOMOing or fear of missing out. And then let's look at NIO stock. How does NIO stock compare to this? You can see it is a slow, gradual uptrend, but really no movement. That's probably just with more people joining the platform over the years. And then you see the massive spike up. So I feel like a lot of people are not really trying to own the stock for the long term. They're just trying to buy into it, hold it for a couple days to get that massive price swing, and then sell it the next moment. So you can see today alone, it is up 6% on the day, and it looks like it is not stopping anytime soon. So we'll see how long this bubble takes to burst with RobinTrack and NIO stock. Now, last but not least, let's go ahead and look at the financials of the company. Now, the one thing I hate about this company, like I mentioned, it only has about a 2-year track record. So trying to base some information off this company is really hard when you can't look 3 years back, 5 years back, 10 years back. But let's go ahead and start with the income statement. So, like I said here, they didn't start deliveries until June of 2018. So, they don't have any revenues in 2017. They don't have any revenues in 2016. This is a baby company. You can't base it off of anything. Now, this does look like great growth. From 748 in revenue to 1,132. That does look like great growth, but remember that the first 6 months had 0 deliveries. So in my opinion, that's not that great. It's easy to look at this and say, oh, they have 51.34% sales growth. But remember the first 6 months, they had $0 in revenue. So I wouldn't really take that into account too much. Now, if we go down here and we go to net income is horrible. It is pretty bad. Now, this is not a profitable company. They are losing money every single year. And if we go to their balance sheet here, it is not really something that is financially healthy either. You see in 2016, 2017, 2018, 2019, at one point they had a decent little pile of cash built up. Right now they have 152 in cash and cash equivalents. If we scroll down here and we open their long-term debt, they had 152 in cash, but $1,269 in long-term debt. Now that was at the end of 2019, and if we base that now to a quarter basis, and we go down to the most recent quarter, they had 338, so they about doubled that cash pile in March of 2020, so a couple months ago. That will be updated in the next couple of weeks, but 338 in cash equivalents, and their long-term debt was 1,207. So still, with cash to long-term debt, that's about a 1-to-4 ratio. Not super healthy. Now remember that this company is an unprofitable company, so this number, 338 here, will go away very quickly. And I'm assuming that this long-term debt, especially with this recession hitting us, will probably grow in size. You see how their long-term debt has pretty much went nowhere over the last 4 or 5 years, but their cash pile has went down. You can see how it's went from 1,100 to 500, 200, 100, and now it's at 300. So not a very financially healthy company. So overall, what's my opinion with the stock overall with everything? Now that we know all that information, now that we know what the stock looks like, now that we know that the company profile is looking towards the future, now that we know that where headquarters are, their battery replacements, their overall vehicles, and basically just overall, should you own the stock in my opinion? Now, those of you that know me, I am focused on primarily dividend investing for now. I will focus with some growth stocks later in the future. But for now, I primarily focus with all companies, whether it be growth stocks, dividend stocks. You should focus on the long term. You should never buy a stock based off of where it's going to go tomorrow or next week or next month. All these stocks that I have owned, I have not sold 90% of them. If I do sell them, it's usually because of a management change or a long-term difference in the company. But with NIO stock, I think the long-term question here is, will they be successful in the future? I think that in China, they do have the best chance of success. They do have a very appealing brand. Their vehicles are very modern, very sleek. And I think if you're wanting to own the stock 2 years out, 3 years out, 5 years out, I don't really think you're making a bad decision. Now remember that it's not financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. This is strictly for entertainment purposes only, and this is all opinion, and nothing here is financial or professional advice, and this is not offering a recommendation to buy or sell a stock. That said, NIO I think is a decent buy if you're wanting to buy it here and hold for the long term. That said, if you're looking for a short squeeze move, if you're looking to just buy the stock and try to pump it up and do a pump and dump and then sell it the next day, the next week, don't mess with it. Don't do that with any stocks in general, because I think in the long run you're going to lose money off of that, and that is not the way to grow wealth. That is a good way to lose your money trying to buy the stock and then sell it tomorrow for a higher price. But overall, guys, if you're interested in investing for the long term with NIO, I do think it's very interesting. That's one of the reasons why I wanted to cover this stock, because I did just cover Tesla stock, and I think in the long run Tesla will be extremely successful. Now, I don't think this stock will probably be as successful as Tesla, but who knows? I think that it is a very interesting company, and I won't fault you for owning it. But overall, guys, that makes up the video. If you want to get a quick update on my portfolio, I will be covering the new position that I did just add to my portfolio in the next video. Duke Energy is the new position in my portfolio. I did just sell out of Dominion Energy. Now, those of you that don't know, that keep up with the news, Dominion Energy just had a big piece of news because Warren Buffett bought out about a fourth of their business, so we'll be going over that in the next video. But overall, guys, from my portfolio, the biggest winners in the portfolio are some of the same names: Whirlpool, Discover Financial Services, and Apple, NextEra Energy Partners. And then my biggest loser in the portfolio, we're now down double digits on our first stock. We're down on Store Capital, WP Carey, Starbucks, Southern Company, Verizon, and the company I bought yesterday, Duke Energy, and we are also down on Coca-Cola. So I'm glad to see that we're actually down on some stocks, so I can actually average down, especially with Store Capital being so low. I did not think that it would be going that low, so I am definitely glad to see that, so I can average down those positions. And then some of the other stocks that I bought yesterday, I bought 14 different companies, and you can scroll through the list right there if you want to see any of those. And then, yeah, so overall, guys, the portfolio is doing very good. In total, on a time-weighted return, we are up 11.03%. On a money-weighted return, we're up 16.24%. 310.90 coming from total gains, 286.96 coming from market gain, and then $23.90 coming from earned dividends. Those of you that don't watch my monthly update videos, this is an update on my annual dividend income, my monthly dividend income, and then my portfolio value. If you watch all the way to the end and you're interested in getting signed up with M1 Finance, go ahead and use this link down below. It is in the description. There are other links to the description as well, including things like credit card referrals, information about me, some other things that you might want to check out. So go ahead and check out the description if you've not done that already. You can get $10 for getting signed up with M1 Finance. But overall, guys, if you watch all the way to the end, go ahead and leave a comment down below, some questions you have for me about stocks, about NIO, about the market in general, or any stocks that I own, or just anything involving investing, because I love talking stocks and I would love to speak with you. So thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you next time.